ICR's AB Sports Conversation with Anthony Carlo and Benzino the Hero.
Got to give credit where credit is due. Can't give credit to Eli Manning because Eli Manning doesn't stop throwing interceptions. Not even interceptions. They're the ugliest interceptions.
They're overthrows. He's doing it on purpose sometimes.
It looks like it.
It's picked off by Seattle Maxwell. Oh, man, what an interception. The fourth of the day for Eli Manning.
It's a different part of the offense. When Carmelo Anthony's at the power forward position, he has more room to operate because even though bigger players are on him, he can just shoot over them. He's faster than bigger players in the league.
So that's what makes Carmelo Anthony special.
Yes.
He's a special player because not everybody can do that.
In the hands of Anthony. Anthony for three. Puts it in! Next by one with 8.2 remaining.
But you know what's going to shock the world is if somebody comes closer to the Yankees. Cano, I don't think he's going to hesitate that much or just leave him. Think he may just leave?
Nah, he's going to stay.
Robinson Cano has agreed to sign with the Mariners.
Just fortunately for the Giants, they were on the winning end of the sloppy game.
They were less of a slob on the dinner table.
Listen to this.
The Giants were less of a slob than the Raiders were at the dinner table, and the dinner table was the football field.
I don't know how you do it. I don't understand. You come up with these things off the top of your head.
On the spot.
A-Rod and Jeter both brought in more fan excitement. There was always more of a buzz.
1-2. He loops out the left field. Going to be a tough play. Jeter on the run, makes the play, and flies into the stands. Oh, what a play by Derek Jeter.
You know how excited I am?
I know. I could see it in your face.
I'm more excited than a caterpillar on the day turning into a butterfly. That's how excited I am for the Knicks coming back.
And we are sitting here, two legends of the trade. Sports broadcasting is what we do.
That's what we do, man.
Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
Sports debating, even got Skip and Steve and Nate hating. Just two dudes from the 914 talking about basketball, baseball, and so much more. So tune in and don't be loony. Now let's get to the action like a Tom Cruise movie. Yeah, with your host Anthony Carlo, Benzino the Hero. Let's go.
WICR Sports.
The San Francisco Giants took Game 1 of the World Series last night, 7-1 over the Kansas City Royals. Giants starter Madison Bumgarner picking up the win, allowing 1 run on 3 hits in 7 innings. Bumgarner is 3-0 with a 0.41 ERA in 3 World Series starts. San Fran jumped out on top early, scoring 3 runs in the top of the first behind a Pablo Sandoval RBI double and a 2-run homer by Hunter Pence. Game 2 will pit Jake Peavy against Yordano Ventura, and tonight first pitch will be at 8:07 p.m. In the NHL last night, the New York Rangers edged the New Jersey Devils 4-3 in overtime. New York defenseman Kevin Kline scoring the game-winning goal with 2:42 into the extra period. Chris Kreider and Jaromir Jagr led their respective teams with 1 goal and 1 assist each. The New York Islanders dropped their second straight game, losing to the Toronto Maple Leafs 5-2, trailing 2-1 after the first period. The Leafs scored 4 goals in the second period. Toronto right wing Phil Kessel recording 2 goals and 1 assist. And the Dallas Cowboys waiving rookie defensive end Michael Sam from their practice squad. As far as Iona Athletics go, the men's cross-country team jumped up to number 5 in the USTF CCCA NCAA Division I cross-country national coaches poll. The Gales moved up 9 spots from the last ranking after their second-place finish out of 36 at the Wisconsin Adidas Invitational last Friday. The men's water polo team topped Fordham 12-10 last night. The Maroon and Gold are now 3-12. And also last night, the volleyball team fell to NGIT in 5 sets. This is Iona's 6th loss in 5 sets this season. 4:39 p.m. This is WICR. Anthony Carlo. Up next is AB Sports Conversation with Anthony and Ben Zeno the Hero.
AB Conversation. That's what we are. Anthony Carlo, Benzino the Hero. Welcome to AB Conversation. Anthony, how's your day?
I think I might keep this music on all day.
Yo,
this is pretty dope.
This dope thing of yours. This hypocrisy of dopeness with Anthony Carlo.
I could jazz out to this right now.
Yeah, I'm digging this instrumental right now. But it's AB Conversation.
Which means that goes off.
It's an AB Conversation. It's AB Conversation. It's
sports debating.
Sports debating.
Even got Skip and Steve and Hating. Yeah, see, I always forget the words to our own song.
It's crazy,
That's
man.
not good.
It's not good at all.
Ben, how are you today?
You know what, Anthony? I'm doing well. I think every 2 weeks my sniffles have been coming back.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Every 2 weeks.
Every time I come in here, we start a show, and all of a sudden Ben starts sneezing.
Yeah.
Or at least he's got to get a tissue.
Yes.
Usually he picks the intro of our show to go get a tissue.
Correct.
Listen, everybody's sick. Honestly, everybody's sick. And can you blame them feeling the weather out there today?
But yesterday was pretty nice.
I mean, yesterday was nice, and I think that's the deal, is that the different weather patterns of one day nice, one day raw and cold like today, people get sick because of that because they don't know how to dress right. And proper dressing, that's what it comes down to, Ben.
Like right now, I'm in a sweater, you're in a sweater.
Well, yeah, exactly. And I'm wearing a double sweater.
Double sweater?
I forgot a jacket, so I was like,
okay.
It's freezing out. I thought I'd be okay in a hoodie, but apparently not.
Apparently.
Apparently not. So, anyway, on the tab of sports, AB Sports Conversation. I mean, after all, we enjoy talking sports over here, and we know that you guys enjoy listening to us talk sports. So why not break out Game 1 of the World Series last night? The San Francisco Giants up against the Kansas City Royals.
In Kansas City, Missouri.
In Kansas City, Missouri. And Ben Zeno, if there's one opening statement I have for this game, it's the fact that the Royals, who are still in Kansas, felt like they weren't in Kansas anymore.
Whoa.
That blew your mind, didn't it? That was a good...
You playing that one?
I did. I thought of that one.
Right. All right.
You know, they still are in Kansas City, but I think they feel like they're not in Kansas City anymore.
Because when you get shut out, you don't feel like you're home.
Shut out through 7 innings. They
did manage to get a run.
Yeah, they did manage to get 1 run on the board. But you're right. I mean, the way that it felt like was that it was a shutout because Madison Bumgarner just dominated into the 7th inning, and he brings it into the 7th, and finally the Royals are able to get something going. But Ben, when you look at this game, the San Francisco Giants jumped all over Big Game James in the 1st inning.
The 1st inning, a 3-run shot by Mr. Hunter Pence set the tone for the Giants in the series.
You see, I like the way you say that because that home run is considered by a lot of people the turning point of last night's game.
Mm-hmm.
And even though you figure a turning point is more likely to be later on, it was actually right then and there that Hunter Pence sucked the energy out of the Kansas City crowd.
When he hit that home run, I think Royals fans was like, yep, we're in for a long one tonight.
Yeah. Now, you know what? One thing that would probably be our objection to that is the fact that the crowd was in it when the Royals were threatening in the 3rd inning, putting men on 2nd and 3rd with nobody out. But Madison Bumgarner got Alcides Escobar, Aoki, and the hot-hitting Eric Hosmer all out to allow himself to get out of that jam, and the Royals were not even able to scratch 1 run across the board with that bases-loaded threat.
That's inexcusable. Even though for a team that's predominantly known for their small ball,
Yeah.
You got to get something out, bases loaded.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, it wasn't bases loaded. It was actually second and third.
Second and third.
But two runners
in scoring position.
Yeah, and just as you said, the Royals have made their money, in my opinion, all season long, especially the postseason, by getting that timely hit. And if there was ever a time for a timely hit last night, it was in that situation in the third inning. They could have made that score a lot closer without letting this game get blown out of proportion like it did. But in the end, Madison Bumgarner, who, by the way, who took the shutout into the seventh inning, his World Series scoreless streak has ended at 21 innings. But according to the Elias Sports Bureau, they note it is tied for the seventh longest in World Series history. Whitey Ford, who turned 86 on Tuesday, holds the record at 33 straight World Series scoreless innings, and Bumgarner's ended at 21.
Bumgarner's been in the World Series since 2010, right?
Bumgarner's been in the World Series. Yeah, he's had a couple of World Series appearances.
2012 as well.
You know, Benzino, this has been a topic of discussion. And the topic of discussion is, if the Giants manage to win this World Series, do we consider the San Francisco Giants a baseball dynasty?
In my opinion, most definitely. Because, what, 7 years? 7 year span?
If they win this year, it'd be 3 world championships in, it'd be 7 years. It would be, let's go back 7 years. What year are we in? 2014? It would be back to 2010.
No, that's 4 years.
2007. Boy, I'm an idiot. Half of 14 is 7. That would be back to 2007. Yeah. Let's characterize it. How about from 2000 on? They've won 3 world championships, and we're in 2014. That's a span of 14 years. We'd be able to consider them a dynasty.
For the first 20 years, yeah, because the Patriots won 3 Super Bowls early in the 2000s, but haven't won anything since. But we still consider that a dynasty.
Yeah.
So if we consider the Patriots a dynasty, we should definitely consider the Giants a dynasty as well.
It's hard for me, and I guess this is offensive, to Giants fans, but it's hard for me to consider the Giants a dynasty if they win this year, the World Series, because, well, more importantly, I think if they don't win this year, it would be hard for me, even harder, to call them a dynasty. Even when they win, if they win this year, I would be obligated, I think, to call them a baseball dynasty, because 3 championships in that span of time would characterize you as a dominant team in the major leagues.
Yep.
But I think that it's an issue. It's harder for me to characterize them by that name because of their market, their location. I think that everything that they're representative of, the not being biased to the New York Yankees, but even teams like the Boston Red Sox, the LA Dodgers, even the New York Mets. I mean, if they were ever to do something like that, it would be easier for me to coin them a baseball dynasty opposed to a team like the San Fran Giants.
Because they're in San Francisco? Or?
I don't think it's just San Francisco, but just the baseball culture. And I know people who are baseball fans of the Giants, who live there, who live and die with that team, would kill me for saying this. But the fact that when you go to Fenway Park, the whole town, the whole city around there is wrapped up in the Red Sox. Beantown, Red Sox Nation. It just stretches so viciously across the board of how many Red Sox fans would die for that team. You go to New York, how many Yankees fans are there in the biggest stage in baseball? The Big Apple, New York City, the Yankees. You think about this empire. You talk about teams like that. It's just hard to compare, and those are teams that would get coined dynasties for winning. It's hard to compare the Giants in that same fashion, just because I feel like it's just not the same.
I don't agree with you.
Disagree with me?
Yeah, I do disagree with you, Anthony, because when you're in California, you have 3 baseball teams, the Dodgers, 4 baseball teams, the Dodgers, the Angels,
the A's and the Athletics.
The A's.
I mean the A's and the Angels. You said the Angels? The Giants, Dodgers, Angels, A's.
Yeah, so when you're in California, you have to choose your allegiance, right?
Yeah, you have to choose your allegiance.
So if you're a Giants fan, you're going to stick with your team regardless. Even when Barry Bonds was hitting home runs, stadiums was packed in San Francisco.
Yeah.
So I think their fan base is very loyal.
I agree with you. Listen, my gripe is not with having a hard time coining them a dynasty because of their fan base. I guess the best way I could put it is for a baseball fan, when you say name a team that their name brings heat to the game. What's a team that you think of immediately when you think of Major League Baseball as being the best team in the game? I don't necessarily think of the San Francisco Giants as number one.
No, I think of your hat.
Yeah, I think of the Yankees. I think of, obviously this past year, no, I wouldn't think of the Yankees. I wouldn't think of the Red Sox. I wouldn't think of teams like that. But in general, if somebody asked me off the top of the bat, name a baseball dynasty, I'm sorry. I wouldn't think San Francisco Giants is my number one. I wouldn't. I'm not being disrespectful. I'm not being prejudiced to the San Francisco Giants. That I think it all has to do with the market that they're in. And you speak about those four teams. Don't get me wrong. California is a big market, but I think that in that state, believe it or not, I think the Angels are more popular. I think that the Dodgers. I think that the Dodgers, maybe not more popular, but I think that based on the amount of, I would say that the Dodgers are more exciting in a lot of people's eyes.
They're more of a white collar audience. Are you trying to say, or like they bring that white collar in them?
I guess you could say that.
Instead of a blue collar image.
I guess you could say that. I feel like
there's more glamour.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, I feel like there's more glamour. I feel like the Giants struggle in California to just make their name as number one when all of a sudden now we're saying they're a dynasty. And in all of other major league teams, there's teams that don't struggle as much to make their name be known as number one.
We're asking the question about if the Giants are a dynasty. Focusing on basketball for the same question, right?
Yeah.
In the 90s, predominantly the NBA was taken by storm. Michael Jordan.
Right.
The Rockets did win back-to-back, 94, 95.
Right.
So in the eyes of NBA fans, we're not going to consider the Rockets as a dynasty.
Right.
They don't have that appeal. Even though they did win championships in back-to-back years, and the Giants won back championships every other year, you still don't consider them as a dynasty because they don't have that appeal.
Well, you know what? I think the point I'm trying to make is that the appeal factor, it makes it more difficult to recognize the Giants as a dynasty opposed to other big market, more popular teams. But it doesn't take away from the fact that if they win this year, they are a dynasty.
Okay.
So my whole point of bringing this up was the fact that I do agree with the fact that if the Giants win the World Series this year, they're a baseball dynasty. Because that would be 3 championships in a span of, 14 years, if we go all the way back to 2000, that would place them at that rate. What my whole thing is they flew under the radar. That's what they did for me.
Yep.
They absolutely can coin them that phrase if they win again this year, but I'm also going to be saying, wow, wait a second. Did the Giants really just win 3 World Series championships?
Yep.
Wow, the Giants, did we just give that title of dynasty to this team?
You said the Giants, right?
Exactly.
San Francisco?
Yeah.
Oh, they did? Yeah, you're right.
Exactly.
Right.
Now, with other dynasties in the history of sports, no, you're more like, yeah, of course I remember the 1927 Yankees. Of course I remember the 1998 Yankees. Of course I remember the 2004 Red Sox. It's more, to me, it's more attention grabbing. Mm-hmm. And I feel like with the Giants, it also has to do with the fact that the player personnel wasn't as popular. Exactly. Wasn't as star-studded as a part of that World Series dynasty if they do win this year, opposed to any other dynasty in sports.
At least they're winning championships on consistent basis. For example, when the Florida Marlins win championships.
Right.
You know, when the Diamondbacks won the championship.
Right. 2001 and 2003. Diamondbacks were in 01, Marlins in 03.
You wait, the Marlins? Are you serious? The Marlins won that championship that year?
Well, yeah, and you know, it just reminds me of you know, I think my final, you know, say on this topic, I think it's just the fact that I don't know why, but the Giants, to me, still are in a category in my mind regarding the major leagues. Now, maybe I'll feel differently when they actually put this one away in the World Series if they're able to do it, but the Giants almost stayed in a more average category in my mind, opposed to ever taking off in my mind as a top 3 team in the major leagues.
So you're saying the San Francisco Giants as an organization or the name of the San Francisco Giants are not in the upper echelon of baseball?
I think that's exactly what I'm saying, and I think that what I'm saying is if they win again this year, they are.
Okay.
Because you can't take that away from a team if they actually have the results. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's like me saying, you know, I go to the gym, you know, that's like me saying I go to the gym 5 days a week. But everybody forgets I go 5 days a week. Yet in the end, I'm still ripped.
Okay, nice.
Now what I'm saying is that in the end, everybody says, wow, you're in, you know, if somebody were to say, you know,
I didn't even notice.
Right. Exactly. And now I'm not being conceited here and saying I'm ripped, but what I'm saying is that there'll be, in the summer, a person, let's say, you know, my friend all winter long knew I went to the gym Monday to Friday, but didn't pay attention, and then in the summer noticed I was ripped and was like, wow, you went to the gym Monday through Friday all winter long?
Sayings just as, where did this come from?
Exactly. Where did this come from? And for the Giants, I feel like when they win, if they win again this World Series, and they cement in people's minds that they are now a baseball dynasty by default because they won 3 World Championships in a span of time, I think people are going to say, wait, you were winning all these years?
Yeah.
You were winning those World Series all these years? I forgot. Mm-hmm. But the end result is there, and therefore they must be awarded that title.
But they have to finish on winning these games to be crowned the World Series championship. And Game 2 is tonight, 8:07 first pitch.
Right.
Ventura versus Peavy in Kansas City. What needs to be a key for Kansas City to win this game is hitting the ball. Six players in the lineup out of 9 were hitless last night.
Yeah, it's a big stat.
Four hits for the day on the Royals, which is inexcusable.
And this has been a team who's been on fire since day one in the postseason, all the way to now. They had won 8 straight postseason contests to get here. Now, one thing that's going to be going in their favor, Ben, is the fact that Jake Peavy
struggling.
Yeah, 7-13 with a 3.73 ERA. In 202 and 2 1/3 innings with the Giants and the Red Sox. Now Ventura's going off of a 14. Now that was his regular season stats.
Yes.
But if you look at,
he's been a different player in the postseason, Ventura.
Well, Ventura's never. He's been a he's been a nobody in the postseason.
Really?
Well, I shouldn't say that, but the Giants have never seen him before.
Okay, as that aspect of what does this guy have
at this level? Yeah, exactly. The Giants have never seen Ventura, in this spot before. Now, 7 career postseason starts. Jake Peavy has a 7.03 ERA.
Oh.
Now, that's not very good.
No.
He threw 5 and 2 1/3 scoreless innings against the Nationals in the NLDS and allowed 2 runs with, I believe it was 3 walks, or it was 3 more walks than strikeouts in 4 innings. So he wasn't stellar in that game. But Peavy doesn't have a good postseason record.
Nope.
So if the Royals want to beat anybody in the series, and especially to tie up the series, they might want to beat Peavy.
Since Peavy is pitching, the matchup is in their favor for the bats of the Royals, especially Billy Butler. Billy Butler has Jake Peavy's number through his career.
Exactly. Now, if we take a look at the Royals specific, some of the hitters that have some stats against Peavy, we look at a 287 batting average in 190 total plate appearances against Peavy. Now, that is the Royals as a team against Peavy, and Billy Butler has had pretty much amazing success against Peavy. He's 14 for 33 with a 424 batting average and 3 home runs.
Who the hell is Billy Butler?
Who the hell is Billy Butler? Alex Gordon had 10 hits in 28 at-bats for a 357 batting average against Peavy with a home run. And Alcides Escobar has taken him deep, and he's 9 for 22 with 1 home run against Peavy.
So it's a favorable situation for the Royals hitters.
Exactly. It's favorable for Kansas City to use this opportunity to come back in the series.
Right.
Will they? It's all down for it. I mean, it's all set so far accordingly that the Royals will be able to come back tonight, and they'll have an advantage. Ventura, the advantage is, Ben, is when you have a pitcher facing a lineup that's never seen that pitcher, the advantage goes to the pitcher because the pitcher has stuff that the hitters have never seen.
So the first time Ventura goes through 1 through 9, he's gonna fool the hitters.
Right.
So that's gonna last like 3 innings maybe.
Right. Now later on in this game is going to be the Giants' best bet.
Yes.
To first of all, their third time around, if Ventura's still in the game, they will have seen some of his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe be able to scratch a couple runs on the board.
Yep.
If not, and they're switched over to the bullpen by that point, you're going against the Royals bullpen that has been pretty good this year.
Mm-hmm.
And Danny Duffy yesterday did a good job mopping up after Shields had to come out. But that's the story. It's in favor for the Royals tonight.
So are you gonna go with the Royals, Anthony?
I will go with the Royals coming back and tying the series up at 1 tonight. I will.
Likewise.
They're going to have still a very ignited crowd because think about it. This team has now won a World Series since 1985.
And fans haven't had the opportunity to be there since 1985.
They're not going away after one World Series loss. Let me tell you that much. If anything, they're going to have more energy.
Yes.
Looking to get their team.
Vengeance.
Yeah, vengeance to get their team back in this. Vitor says, for me, my big focus is always to make sure I treat this as the same game. Go out, execute every pitch as I have throughout the season. Remain calm and treat it like any other game. Where I came from and where I grew up, I didn't get many opportunities to watch the World Series. But certainly I do remember in 2004, the Red Sox with Pedro Martinez and Manny Ramirez helping them win a World Series. Ventura, don't bring stuff up like that unless you want to get criticized about it. 'Cause I don't appreciate I don't appreciate that bad nightmare.
For you, yeah.
That memory of the Red Sox in 2004.
What do you got to be like? If I was, what do you got to be like 8?
In 2004,
Yeah.
I was. Let's see.
You were 8.
I
right?
was born in '93, so '93.
4. You were 8, 12, 13?
12. I was 12. You're only off by 4 years.
That would be funny to watch.
I was. Oh, you think I was crying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, with your Jeter jersey on, going no right in front of the TV.
I probably was.
Funny to watch.
I think I was. Yeah, I probably was. I remember when I was younger, and my dad and I were watching, and my brother, when we were watching like a playoff game between the Yankees and Red Sox. Sometimes we would have. Obviously, they turned the games over to Fox or another station, and we had this superstition thing that we went through all season long, listening to either Michael Kay or John Sterling. So we would mute the TV. We would mute Joe Buck, even though Joe Buck is one of the most famous postseason broadcasters, and we would put on John Sterling. And as many people hate John Sterling, this always seemed to work. Okay. When we put on the radio and we would put on John Sterling and watch the game and mute Joe Buck, the Yankees seemed to come back.
That's a very unique superstition, Anthony.
Yeah,
very unique.
That year, unfortunately, it didn't work. But we'll see what happens tonight. You're listening to AB Conversation, Benzino the Hero and Anthony Carlo here at WICR. Definitely look us up on Ustream by searching WICR, and always we enjoy being hit up on YouTube by just searching AB Conversation. We can always take a look at Twitter at WICR1.
Correct. And at Benzino_the_Hero if you want anything. And AB Conversation will be taking a short commercial break, but after that we'll be talking about the National Football League, so stay tuned. What do you want, Rob? What's up, Rob? Come in.